My name is Opara. I'm from Nigeria. State of origin is Imo State. I grew up in Lagos.
My name is Ayodeji Akinloye. I'm from Nigeria, Lagos State to be precise. I'm currently in Texas State University for my master's degree program in chemistry.
So I'm Abigail Lois Kwanzaa, and I arrived in the US in 2018 in August. So I came to the US to pursue my graduate studies.
Yeah, it has fully surpassed my expectations for sure. Because I knew it would be stressful, but damn, wow. Like it's really pushing me to my limits. It's making me ask myself questions.
So I'll say that one of the main differences that I found between the Ghanaian education system and then the US education system is the fact that you have to school and then be working at the same time, in the sense that coming into the school, you're given an assistantship, and then the assistantship is contingent on the fact that you have to work, you have to do some kind of work. So it's either you're teaching or you're doing some form of graduate assistantship or research. And so for the math department, you had to teach. And so you teach, and then they give you whatever assistantship that you have, paying for your tuition and everything.
So why is u squared equal to -1?
Okay, so we have this equation, u squared plus 1 is equal to 0, right? And then we're trying to make u squared stand alone. So we're making u squared a subject. So we're going to move everything that is added to u squared onto the right hand side so that u squared can stand alone here. I would say it's never been easy. Even though I've been doing this for about 5 years now, I still struggle with it because you have to study and then make time for your class as well. You have to do your grading, you have to prepare your notes and everything. It is very stressful, but at the end of the day, what I always say to myself is, this is what is paying for your tuition, right? This is what is giving you money to fend for yourself. So you have to get the job done. So it's all about your time management and then having the mentality that you have to get the job done. So you're going to go through it no matter what, and then also try to get help from people. There are professors who are willing to help. If you're going through any struggles with preparing your lesson notes, they're always willing to help you out.
Just the volume of work, handling all of that, and you need to be able to compartmentalize everything you're doing and document everything you're doing. So I'll probably say that has been the most challenging thing for me, not because I don't know how to compartmentalize and document, but just the sheer volume of it. Because in my lab, my professor doesn't believe in just streamlining yourself to one thing. Get a feel of everything. Communicate with everyone. Touch a bit of each person's project, touch a bit of older projects. You need to read a lot of publications.
There's a lot of resources here, in terms of equipment, in terms of some equipment that I've never worked with while I was in Nigeria that are present that I can now work with. There's a lot of times I want to just go back to my country. Like there are times like that I would just be like, okay, what am I even doing here? What am I doing here? Like, to be in Nigeria, this will not be happening. This will not be occurring. But at the same time, I'm actually very grateful being here, being that I'm exposed to other people's culture.
I think there was one day that I felt very anxious. Just that one day. So what I did to deal with it was put a phone call, like a video call back home, called my sister, called my mom, called my dad, spoke to my senior brother too, and then chatted up my baby brother and a couple of friends. So I used that, to sort of get a feel, because even back at home, we weren't such a physical, I'm here, we're together. It was more, calling or texting, even though we're in the same house and all. So I used that to sort of bring me back to home. And
16 here in the US for about 5 years and not going home to see a family. That was a big deal for me. But then I think one of the things that has helped me is to find people in my own circle, right? Try and find people who can relate to me. And so that's like finding more African students or finding Ghanaians around that you can always reach out to and then they can encourage you. And the moment you share your story, you realize you are not alone.
I cook. Oh Lord, I cook. Because food is a big thing for me. So I cook. I brought a huge bag of Nigerian spices, Nigerian food, vegetables. So when I got here, I cooked my first pot of egusi soup. Yes, that's a very key thing and it was sweet. It was delicious.
Oh, so I'll say for food, it's been a struggle because you can have it the way you want it back home. But I try to improvise, try to see some of the things that look similar to my home country, like the spinach. You can use the spinach here to replace a dish in Ghana. You can use the eggplant to replace garden egg that we use in Ghana. So I try to improvise with the things that I have. But then I mostly eat rice because that's the very common thing that you can find between Ghana.
So the major misconception about Africa is the fact that Africa is a country, which is not. Most people here refer it to as a country, and Africa is never a country. Africa has over 50 different countries. We have the northern parts of Africa, we have the western parts where I'm from, that's Nigeria, and we have the southern parts of Africa and the eastern part. So a lot of beautiful cultures, beautiful food, and that's one thing I miss the most about my country. That's the food. I miss the food a lot. So we have beautiful people in Africa, and Africa is more than hunger, poverty, a whole lot of bad stuff that the media is portraying. We are more than that.
I remember one incident on a bus where I had to, when I sat on the bus, people around me just moved to a different place, right? And then I was saying to myself, like, we don't have COVID, right? If we had COVID, then I'll think they're social distancing. But then I realized that it was just because of my skin color, because I was the only person who was black amongst them. And so they all just moved towards one side.
I know in some parts of this country, they are still racist, but I don't really concern myself with them. I like to focus on what I'm doing and my immediate environment. So I'll narrow it straight down to Texas. I never thought that there were racists in Texas. Honestly, I was like, okay, Texas should still feel a bit like home, considering the weather, considering there's a good black population in some parts of Texas. Where I am here, it's San Marcos. There's not really a lot of black people here, but because of the diversity, it's sort of, even if there were racist people, it makes no sense. How many races do you want to be prejudiced against? Because this place is way too diverse for you to be holding so much prejudice against every single race.
Cultural shocks. I think the first one should be the tipping culture in America. Tipping the service providers. I think that's actually one of the things that I really find shocking, because there's this app I use. Like, you are actually forced to tip. Like, there's no way, you cannot avoid it. You must tip. So that's number one. In Nigeria, you can just, if you feel like, you can tip, and if you don't feel like, you are forced to tip. Like, even if you don't want to tip, the eye they will give to you, you know that no, I need to do this tipping.
You need to also realize that where there is evil, there has to be good. So I definitely recommend people back home to, if you have dreams of coming out and experiencing, another culture, another lifestyle, a different location, start from San Marcos, Texas State University to be precise. Yeah, this place it's wonderful, especially if you're coming from Lagos. Traffic is crazy in Lagos. So when you come here, it's like a breath of fresh air. Traffic is almost non-existent. You can get to anywhere within 15 minutes. You can structure yourself. If you're someone that's determined, you can build discipline here, because you can set a schedule for yourself and you'll keep it. So yeah.
My experience in the United States so far has been great, in the sense that meeting new different type of people, from different races. Like, this is the first time I'll be meeting people from different countries. Like, I don't even know a country like Nepal exists. until recently?
It's been very, very helpful because professors are very welcoming. You can go for their office hours, you can schedule for an appointment, you can ask questions as much as you want, and they never give up. I think that's one of the main supports. So, like, you have the resources all over it, but the only thing is you have to ask for them. The information is available, but you have to search or reach out for the information. I think that's one thing. When I first moved out, it was very difficult for me because it's not very common to email your professors randomly in Ghana to get help. But then here in the US, you can email your professor at any time and they will respond to you.
Listen, if I did it, all of you can do it. Anybody can do this. Again, it's a lot of hard work. It's not easy, but the path is there and the path is clear. So it's just about doing your research and then again, really working hard and staying motivated. Even, sometimes, it can be challenging because you are in a foreign country, right? Most of us left our families and friends and our comfort levels back in our respective home countries in Africa, and you're coming to this foreign land and navigating your life and growing and figuring out your future. But find community is another piece of advice I would have. People not only are going through similar things as you are, so you all can lift each other up, but beyond finding community, also explore, right? Why did you come to America? You didn't come to America to come find your home country people. I mean, that's great, but look for other people, look for the Americans, look for the British, look for the Asians, and also, right? And build community around that, learn from other cultures. It's only by learning and interacting with other cultures that we also become cultured ourselves.
International students comes here, they have to face a lot of challenges because their expectation is always, when they come first, they are used to particular social behavior and everything, and of course now you are in a completely different situation, and then you have to face that. So at the very beginning, especially the first semester will be reasonably hard for them. But of course, it will depend on each student because some student can easily adjust. And that's one thing that I have observed with at least the two African students I knew. And they did not have that much problem to adjust to this situation, this environment at all.
We appreciate what international students bring to our campus because you bring a different perspective, a more global perspective from the various countries. And also, too, we need to have an appreciation for what those cultures they bring here in particular, because we as domestic can also learn from that as well. So it's good to have those different perspectives that you bring to the table because we learn from it. It helps us with the global economy because that is bringing in all that knowledge from different universities. And there, like you may have some that are in their master's program or PhD that may have gotten their bachelor's in their respective country and then come here to get an advanced degree, again, to do their research. We benefit from that knowledge as a country. So we really do benefit from that. I do think that just the times that I've had the opportunity to work with some international students, it's been a blessing for me.